So welcome back into episode 83. So in last week's video, you saw me get the headlights finally working, and that was monstrous. I will report though, there's something not quite right. My fuse board seems to lack any power to the accessory bar, which is really curious. I'm just trying to, sort of in the background, slowly figure out what's going on there. I understand what the problem is, and once I figure it out, I can get it all working correctly. The headlights work, they go up and down, no problem. It's just whether it's on the correct ignition number, you know, whether it's off, 1, 2, or starting. There's something a little bit strange going on there. Anyway, so in this week's video, what I want to do is actually get the headlights working so they're illuminating, because they don't at the moment. I snipped them when I took them out, so I've got to redo that. But I actually just want to run the car for a little while. One of you pointed out that after all the build-up to getting the car running, I then ran it and then there was no more. So I'm going to spend a bit of time this week just running the car, just trying to get it going again. It's not been started for quite a long time, probably since 4 weeks or something like that, 4 or 5 weeks maybe. And just wrap up a few of the little jobs that are lurking while I'm trying to sort of think about the next step. And there's a lot of different directions I can go into, as occasionally I talk about them, whether it's the bodywork, the interior, rear suspension, the exhaust, or just push and get it back on the road so I can have a little bit of fun and take it out for a drive and stuff. And I'm kind of inching towards getting it driving again, just so we can have a little bit of fun. Anyway, let's jump into the video, see how I get on this week. And please remember, click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave me comments, and let's get in there. I've had a bit more of a tidy up down here now, and so hoovered up a little bit, and continued looking at this fuse board. Now there's something really weird going on here. Kind of what I mentioned before, what I found with the light relay, that it should be picking up the accessory, so it's the X terminal power from the ignition, and that should come into A3. Now if I just zoom you in, I'll count with you if I can get out the light. Let me just move the light around a little bit. So 1, 2 and 3 is that empty one. There's nothing in it, and that's where the accessory power should come from, the ignition. Which is completely missing, and then that wire does actually go on the back. It comes up to fuse 6, which is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it comes up to here, which creates that adds the sort of power, accessory power, to 5, 6, 7, and 8. But obviously that's just not getting there. So God knows what happened there. As I mentioned in the previous video, I've solved the power situation for my headlights another way, which equates to the same, so there's no major problem. But you can kind of see clearly something weird has gone on here. Looks like a relay or something's been removed here somewhere along the line. Some little bit of home DIY. That we'll get to that at some point. I'm not too worried about that now. I was just in the back of the car tidying up. I'm going to lay the seats back in, just sort of make things a little bit more orderly. And I didn't actually realise this opens. This opens, which I've looked in before. I've never opened this though. I didn't realise. I thought, I didn't really think about it really. But when I opened up, look what I found. There's a whole pile of relays. So there's one that I've not checked the codes, but I assume that's a headlight relay. There's, doesn't say what it is. You probably recognise it from that. Whatever that relay is. There's a dead old relay there, so we won't bother with that one. There's another, without any writing on it, there's something, I can't read it, you might have been able to read that. There's another one there. I'm trying to show them so you can see the codes. Again, I don't know what that one does. Oh, there's the picture. I think that's just like a generic one. There's another Hella something. Then there's another one here. That looks like an Audi part. Audi VW. What's this big one here? Trying to see if there's a number. I can't see the number on it, but it's that picture. And another one. I don't know what that thing is. Yeah, that's not like your typical relay. Or maybe that's like a very basic relay. Is that everything? Another one here. Okay. and a 53. Now I think 53 is the generic, you know, the standard, just switch something on. And then there's a few bits of plastic. That looks like the trim that goes in the door. That, I don't know what that is, so let me know if you know what that thing is. Yeah, no idea what that is. And a couple of fuses by the looks of it. I think that's the lot. Yeah, that's everything. Pretty good find though. So just been laying the interior back in. Obviously there's lots of bits, just sort of random bits like this left there. But it's quite nice to actually see it go back together. This, I mean, it isn't the original cloth. It can't be that. I don't believe they made one like this. This is like the fake Porsche. And when we go around, if I just show you on the headrests, you can actually see the real Porsche was this, I think it's called the green and blue. And at some point along the line, someone's retrimmed it. Just presumably it had died. But to retrim the headrest is a lot harder because it's actually stitched into the leather. Where this is, these are sort of panels that you can just pull out and retrim, which is a bit of a sneaky. So there's a debate now. I'd always wanted to go for the light brown interior, but seeing as this is black and it'd be a pig to change, I'm semi-tempted to go back to this, which maybe I could even keep the original headrests. Be quite a nice thing. You see around this side, these are just some of the trim panels I've found laying around inside the car. I could do with a new rear car because that's obviously burnt out, that one. There is a toolkit, if I can move some things out the way. Put them over there for a minute. So under here is the original toolkit. Some of it missing. There's a screwdriver, there's a pair of pliers down the end I can see is gone. I don't know what this is. If anyone knows what that is, let me know. I half suspect it's a handle for the toolkit, so you can sort of lift it around. But it's quite nice to see the interior coming back together. You know, you can see like the actual leather trim isn't in awful condition. I've never cleaned it, but it's all there. Same this side. These sort of 3/4 panels or rear panels, they're not bad. They're a little bit warped here where some rain's come in, but I think they'll just pop back up. Right, for a bit of change in scenery or a bit of variety of work, I'm going to start stripping out the dash. I'm not actually going to take the dash out at this moment. What I want to do is pull off this leather, which is completely corroded, as you can see. It's gone like dry and cracked and all over the place, so I'm just going to cut it out. I want to see what's underneath. I'm still in two minds about the interior of this car. Obviously it's got black at the moment, but I really think it used to be tan. There's various places on it that indicate, you know, where they couldn't spray, respray it black. I'll show you a couple. It really looks like it was tan once upon a time. There's a little crack in the dash there. But, I think that's probably fairly common. I'm just going to pull this off for the moment. I assume this, I mean, this is tan. I assume that this is just the plastic underneath. Maybe that is actually the original dash. Who knows? You know, the leather colouring. Who knows? But for now, let's just take this off. It's quite therapeutic with this type of job as well. Just nice after lots of mechanical wranglings. I've never actually pushed up on the glass. You can see that. Just checking, you can see on the camera. Yeah, that's not actually stuck in at all. Good to know. Note to self. If I drive, the glass isn't stuck in. So, I mean, it's very hard to tell because it looks like there's stitching on it, which is really odd. But I'm assuming this is like the plastic underneath the dash, a bit more lightweight. But it definitely has the texture. I'll zoom you in so you can see. It's a bit hard to see, but yeah, it has a texture like leather. I'm not sure if it's coming. I'm just moving the light around to try and give you a bit of a look. That's Looks like stitching. Hopefully you can see from that. So let me know if you know, save me trying to guess, but is that the original dash, or is that the plastic frame that goes underneath the dash? You can see there's a crack there. It's probably one of the reasons it was covered. I think there's one more crack over the other side. So I couldn't wait just to try out the cluster, see if I'd fixed it. No, it doesn't seem like I have. So something's clearly not quite right. I think I've connected it correctly. I will double check in a second. But no dials at all. Yeah, nothing at all on that. I'm playing catch up with a few little jobs I've been doing in the background. I've fitted the strip that goes along the front of the bumper there that holds this rubber seal in place. Now I'm hoping, this rubber seal has been painted white, I'm hoping I can recover that. When I take the bumper off for spraying, I'll probably remove this rubber. I need to just check, for some reason I think I shouldn't remove it from something I read, but I'll double check, let me know if you know. But try and get all this paint off. It's just, I mean, it's very thick white paint, but hopefully that'll come off and that rubber seal will be reusable. I fitted the headlight wash. I've not connected up the pipe work for the moment, but I just want to get that put back in. And what else did I do at the front there? I think that's all I've done at the front. The bumper is now properly on. I've just got to put a couple of bolts in. What I want to show you though is the headlights working. So I'm going to pop them up, put them on beam. I think this side has got a dodgy light bulb, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All the wiring's correct. This is another piece I've just sort of laid in place. But I need to actually put that in properly and give a good clean up. Actually, it's not very clean. But let's get the headlights now. And then different beams, I can't actually see if they're working, so you'll have to check for me. But I think they work correctly. That's so that's off. Position 1 on the headlights, position 2, and that's probably high beam, low beam. I can sort of flash between the two, and if I turn it off, that's position 2 now, and then off. I think that's working correctly. Right, now what I'm going to do is test out the bonnet catch for the very first time. So I've aligned the bonnet, and looking deep inside here, it looks like it's good. I've aligned obviously the catch is aligned, but the actual spring sort of secure. Let's try. Okay, there's that problem solved. It doesn't actually catch on anything. So presumably it's not aligned correctly. I don't actually know how this mechanism works, so that's probably part of the problem. I may just dabble with a screwdriver, because I can see the bit that moves backwards and forwards in there. Right, I can see exactly why it's not working. There's a spring here. I can just touch it there. That's a, oops, there, this spring should be connected up here, and that pulls the catch sort of on, which I'll try and do. I'm really not going to be able to do it while filming, I doubt, but we can try, can't we? Let's have a go at this. Can't be that hard. And just sort of maneuver it around like that. Oh, whew. Grease in the face, my favourite. Bank holiday Monday grease. Right, actually I might be able to do it if I can just... There she is. Okay, so now the spring's sort of over the clip. That should be pulling this taut. Okay, so let's try the shotgun bonnet for the first time. Click. Bonnet is down, a little bit high there, a little bit low there. Not a problem. Let me turn my light off so it can go flat. Let's try the bonnet catch. This is the important bit, whether the bonnet will open again. here somewhere. We have a winner. Okay, good, because I didn't fancy laying under there trying to get that to come undone. Pretty cool. Okay, so we've got a bonnet that shuts now. So we can leave the bonnet shut. As you know, I've got a new Porsche badge to go on there as well. In terms of the alignment of the bonnet, I think it's just wrung out of shape slightly. Although actually that's fitting better. But it might just need a little bit of adjusting to fit. It's not bad along the front, a little bit tight I would say, so it needs to go back a little. Yeah, it can go back, probably go back 3-4 millimetre, and that would line up quite nice. But it is sitting high here. But anyway, that's a good start. So I've got most of the interior laid in now. I've just rolled up the carpet while I was going to the battery. And I noticed I'm missing these two bits of the seats, the rear seats. I can buy them, there's loads on eBay. They may be in my garage, I'm not sure. But there's one other choice, is that potentially this is the wrong one here. I don't know whether that one actually goes there and I'm missing this piece. Which actually, now I've moved that up, it looks more likely. But it's nice to see the car sort of coming back together. Obviously it needs retrimming. You can see the dash that I stripped the other day. The big speakers that I've got to try and deal with, which is a bit of a pain. But it's largely complete. I mean, I need to sort these window switches, don't work either. Sort of giving just a quick view around. I've got the stereo in a box, which is looks like either the original or at least certainly period. But we're not looking too bad. I think I've got the rug, so the mat that goes down here somewhere under, I think it's under my 911 actually. Right, so I've got a question for you all. Here's another shot of the Pasha on my seats. Now the interior of my car is clearly black. What I'm trying to do is work out what colour it was originally. So if I just shine you over here, sorry my light's right in your eyes. There's the door handle to the passenger side and you can see where the black is wearing off. Up here, which is why I've got the light on, is the headlining and the sun visor has been touching the headlining and you can see tan there. Obviously I've taken the dash off, so that's just the undercolours, you know, you can't really judge that. But there are various other places, I'm not sure you'll be able to see. This is the B-pillar where the seatbelt goes in. Where I've moved the clip back, or it's actually taken the clip out, you can also see tan here. Now if we go round outside, I'll show you, this is all the leather I took off the dashboard. I've pulled out a couple of bits from underneath and sort of tucked beyond where you could paint basically. There's lots of tan bits. There's some stitched, these bits here. So, and a lot of it was painted black, which is in this box. That's all the leather I took off the dashboard. This is the door card, black. When you look at it, it's actually brown. It's like a dark brown, a bit darker than the dash, but it is definitely a brown. It's been painted. And it's got, someone's written on it, sort of near side, offside, top green, blue, black, whatever. Words though, basically, that wouldn't have been done in the factory. That would have been done in a breaker's yard, I think. So I think that's been changed. Now going back to the seats. And I know the car used to be mocha brown. I suspect the whole interior was tan with Pasha seats. Someone wanted to change the car to white with a black interior. So they re-dyed the doors, the door, the dash, and some various other bits. Potentially it had a black carpet already. Some of them do. But the seats, because the Pasha is stitched in, I think, and the seats probably were a brown Pasha with the tan leather. I think they probably got some seats from a breaker's yard. And the seats were probably not in great condition, so they retrimmed it with this material, obviously not Pasha, but it's close enough for them. But the important thing was it had the black leather, which matched the rest of the interior. But that would explain why we have different materials here, and why half the interior seems to be tan, half of it seems to be black. But let me know what you think. Also let me know if you think Porsche would have records about what the original colour was. I know on these early 928s it's a little bit difficult to get true information about the spec of the car. I know the exterior was mocha black brown, but I don't know what the interior was. Right, I think that's all I'm going to get done this week. It's really interesting to start looking at the interior, trying to work out what's what, trying to decide what to do with it, whether I should keep the black, trying to track down whether it was black or tan. Please leave me comments as you've seen the colours of different bits of the interior, and to try and think what would be the next step forwards, whether because it all needs retrimming in some form. There's a lot of the interior is fine, but for example the seats need completely redoing. So do I keep them black leather and go Pasha on the the material side of things, and what should that be? Should it be the brown and cream, the black and white? And that kind of is dependent upon what we do with the rest of the interior. I've just got black carpets in there at the moment, which are going to be probably hard to take out. So probably I should keep the black carpets. But then things like the dash obviously needs retrimming. The doors can be black or tan. I suspect they're tan underneath that black anyway, so it's a matter of stripping off. I don't know, let me know. I don't know. I had hoped to get the car out and about this week, as I said at the beginning of the video. That hasn't happened, or has it? Tune in next week and you'll see what happens there. But for now, let's just wrap up. Thank you as ever for watching. Leave me some comments, click the subscribe button. Let's get up to 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,500 at the moment. So last 500 to get us there. That'd be very good. And I'll see you next time.